So he will start with the ball, and it's going to be Masonette with it for the Dragons. Tied up 28-28 as we begin the second half action of the game of the first round action of CAA Men's Basketball Championships, presented by College 529 College Savings Plan. Kevin Collins and Matt Harrop courtside here in the Richmond Coliseum. Masonette driving down the lane. He will lay it in for the Dragons.
And Towson's a little bit confused there as why that play was able to happen. He drove right in the middle of the zone and nobody was waiting for him at the basket.
As we talked, a lot of success coming for the zone for the Tigers. When they switched over to probably with around 6 minutes left to go in the first half of play, Josh Brown with a floater from the foul line, hits about every part of the rim and trickles in. So both teams now knotted up at 30 apiece as we are just underway here in the second half action.
As Josh Brown done a nice job penetrating the lane. And really, this is the part of the floor that I'm concerned about most. How is Towson's defense going to respond against Drexel's offense, which was pretty much not as effective as they have been in the whole season in the first half? A
three-point shot put up by Derek Thomas is good, and now Drexel leads by 3, 33-30, with 18:46 left to go in the first half. Still plenty of time, the second half, as we just begin play here. And a traveling called against Polk, and ball back to the Dragons.
And if Drexel can start hitting their shots from the outside against this zone, then they can really extend this lead. Towson giving Drexel the three-point shot every single time down the floor, forcing them to hit those shots, not giving the ball inside to Sammy Givens. We'll see how effective it is.
Derek Thomas with the ball outside the three-point arc. Gets over to Masonette. Now good movement down inside the paint, but unable to handle the ball was Daryl McCoy. And it goes out of bounds and back to the Tigers.
And once again, that's the zone working effectively. Putting the ball inside, hands immediately go to the ball.
And quickly on the other end, it's going to be a foul called against Towson. And Coach Pat Kenny not happy about that call, screaming at the officials. The foul goes against. Actually, no foul, mattered.
It might have been out of bounds.
Out of bounds, and that's what the call was. Three-point shot put up by Chris Boucher. That is no good. Gets his own rebound and settles it back outside to the top of key, and Masonette controls it for the Dragons. Masonette trying to drive down, create some space, dish it outside to Thomas for a three-point shot. No good. Rebound knocked around, hits off Fillmore, and it goes back to the Dragons. Nice offensive board for the Dragons. Now they have a new shot clock and the ball.
And it looks like Towson is switching over to a 2-1-2 zone. They're moving Dupree up to the top of the key where the foul line is, making any pass around there impossible. Dupree is really the right guy to put there, too. He's long, he's lengthy, and he's strong, and he's tipping passes getting in the way.
Excellent point, as we'll see if that is a little more effective for the Tigers. They struggle out of the get-go so far in the second half. Masonette trying to disrupt that zone. He drives down the lane, and he is fouled.
And right there, Drexel doing a smart thing, attacking the zone, going right at the big bodies down low and drawing a foul. Nice job by Masonette.
And we'll take a replay as Masonette trying to drive right into that zone. And you said it, Matt, attacking those big bodies, and he does draw the foul.
And as he is 60% from the line on the year, he is now 4 of 5 from the line in the game.
And that foul goes against Dupree, and he knocks down the free throw. So now the score 35-30. Drexel leads as they knock down both free throws on that chance from the charity stripe. Polk with the ball, and we're going to get an off the ball called against Drexel. Foul this time goes against Darrell McCoy.
And that's the 4th time at least that we've seen for Drexel getting an off the ball foul down in the post. It's all about extending the elbows. I was watching him. They're just pushing them around, and the refs are not going to let them have it. Just moving the elbows down there.
So that foul goes against Darrell McCoy. Substitution coming in as Ruffin checks in for McCoy. And driving down from the baseline, but they're going to say a foul called against.
And it might have been a moving screen there.
And that is the 4th foul there against.
And if you're Towson, you don't want to be picking up fouls in the offensive zone.
And they're going to go put that against Dupree. Now he has 4 fouls, and the big man really in a lot of foul trouble, and he's probably going to be checking out as quickly as possible. And he gets a block there on that opportunity. Now Fouch with the rebound. He goes up, and then the tip in. Not sure who got the finger on that ball, but Drexel converts on that offensive possession.
That was Sammy Givens coming up big. And Towson's going to call a timeout there.
So the score 37-30. Drexel comes out strong to start the half on a 7-0 run right out of the get-go. 16:50 left to go. Coach Kennedy not happy. And, you know, you can understand why. Is you got your big man Dupree now 4 fouls, 1 away from being fouled out. Team already have 2 team fouls with only 3 minutes played so far in the game. Disappointing start for the Tigers.
Well, Dupree really isn't moving well. We can see it down low already. He's the middle guy in the 2-1-2 zone, and he's not getting to the ball effectively. The guy, Drexel's doing a nice job of driving. They're getting in the lane, kicking out, and Drexel's starting to hit open jump shots that they were not hitting early going.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Gums comes in and plays, because we saw him early on. He played 6 minutes in that first half and did a fair job, you know, on defense. But he's probably going to have a lot more playing time in the second half action, especially with Dupree's foul trouble and also injury as well.
Yeah, the 4 fouls for Dupree really not coming up, not really a good thing for him at all. And he's really the anchor defensively, as he has at least 3 blocks already in this game. And that is the number exactly, 3 blocks, as he's played 20 minutes, 4 fouls, as you mentioned, for Dupree. Not really doing well on the offensive side, but once again, Drexel's doing a nice job now. It looks like they've finally figured out the zone. And they've struggled in this the second half of the first half.
As we look at some of the second half highlights early on, Drexel's 7-0 run, but a nice block there by Dupree, and he will be sitting on the bench as we come out of this break.
And they're going to need some good minutes here from Eric Gomes, as we saw him earlier in the game. Not as much as a defensive force as Dupree is. He's going to have to step up.
So Connor takes it in the front court for the Tigers. Trey Connor, that huge three-pointer, tied the game up just as we neared the end of the first half. Here's Fillmore backing up Givens, and Ruffin, and he converts on his jumper right from 3 feet away. Nice job by Fillmore backing up the big guys for Drexel and converting on his jumper.
And he's going to have to be more involved in this game. Well, that's only his 6th point of the ball game. He's their leading scorer.
Fouch gets to the block to Ruffin. Ruffin turnaround righty hook shot falls in. And now Drexel out on top 39-32, 16:08 left to go here in the second half of play.
And this looks a lot more like Drexel basketball here in this second half.
That's why Drexel coming in was able to claim that 5th seed with 20 wins on the season.
And another push. This one going to go against Sammy Givens.
And that's going to be Givens' second personal foul. The team's second foul as well. And we got a timeout on the court, but Matt, looking at some of the stats now for Towson, leading scorer for them, Rashawn Polk and Josh Brown, each with 8 points. Isaiah Fillmore with 6 points. Trey Connor 5 points. We talk about Braxton Dupree. Obviously, you know, he's played 20 minutes, played a lot of time. He hasn't recorded a bucket, but I think it's more the defense that he gives you and the rebounding. He has 6 rebounds, a leading rebounder for the team.
That's where he helps you on the defensive side. The big man in the middle of the zone, he's been blocking shots. He has 3 block shots. He's doing a nice job there. But Towson's going to have to get Fillmore involved in the game. They've fallen behind here by 7 points in the early going in the second half. I expect them to go to Fillmore as they did down on the block right before that foul was called. He's going to have to be more involved. The leading scorer with 11 points, averaging 11 a game.
And with such a small bench for Tigers, it really hurts to have anyone in foul trouble, and especially one of your big guys, Dupree. So we'll see how that affects them, especially with
and
a
it's
limited
not only
bench.
And it's not only the fouls for Dupree; it's the injuries. We saw that ankle. He's moving very slowly up and down the court, and he might have actually aggravated again early in the second half before that 4th foul, but he does have 4 fouls very early in the second half, so Towson likely not going to be with Dupree until maybe 6 or 7 minutes to go in the second half, depending on how far behind they get.
So 39-32 the score, 15:56 left to go in the game. Drexel, the 5th seed, looking to move on to face VCU tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 in second round action of the CAA Men's Basketball Championships. Sammy Givens, obviously a big winner last night in the CAA Awards banquet. He did a terrific job all season for the Dragons and gets his accolades yesterday evening. Towson will inbound it. Here's Fillmore going up against Ruffin, and he goes up to the bucket, knocks it down, and gets fouled, so he will have an N1, making a 3-point opportunity and get his Tigers back into the game and within 4 points if he can convert on his 3-throw attempt.
And there it is, as I just mentioned, Fillmore. They're going to try to get him involved. They like the matchup that they have there down low, working against Daryl McCoy and Sammy Givens.
And Fillmore knocks it down, so now 39-35 the score. Drexel over Towson within 4 points, and you've got to give a lot of credit to the Towson Tigers. They come in here, obviously no CA wins, 0-14 in the CA, but playing a very spirited battle. And also we'll see Rashawn Polk get a little bit of a breather on the bench. We talked about, you got to keep your guys fresh, and Coach Pat Kenny trying to do the best job he can as Brian Morris will check back into the game for Towson.
There's no doubt that Towson has confidence.
Fouch with the ball at the top of the key. Gets over to Derek Thomas in the left wing. Trying to get it to Givens underneath there. Nice lefty hook from Givens from the left block. He knocks his shot down. Now 41-35 advantage for the Dragons over the Tigers. 15 minutes left to go in this game.
And although he may be an undersized power forward, he has very, very good speed down there on the block, as we saw that lefty hook get up before Fillmore was able to get a hand up. Josh
Brown throws up a 3-pointer. That is no good. Rebound pulled down by Towson. Here's Brian Morris trying to spin move from the right baseline. He couldn't get right on his lay-in. Nice move by Morris. Unfortunate miss, though, there by Towson, and the ball back quickly in the hands of Drexel. Sam Givens on the opposite end. But Drexel's going to settle it down, try to create it down, slow down the clock. They do have the 6-point advantage. Want to make sure they can convert on pretty much any offensive possession. They're really trying to penetrate that zone that Towson has put up there.
And it looks like Towson's actually gone back to man here, as the zone was becoming ineffective. As
Givens gets by his guy, converts on the lay-in.
Yeah, really nothing working right now defensively for Towson. As we mentioned, they're the worst in the CAA, giving up 76 points a game. And we knew that was going to be a struggle for them coming into this game. Can they keep Drexel at bay?
And really, it's going to be a game Towson's going to want to win. They're going to really have to shoot lights out from here on out. Obviously, plenty of time, but an 8-point disadvantage, a limited bench. You really do have to shoot strongly. Only 5 seconds now on the shot clock. Morris with the ball. He's got to put it up there from the left elbow. A shot off the front end of the rim and into the hands of Daryl McCoy there for the Dragons. And a poor shot there. Drexel's not even sure if that was a shot or a pass here. Fillmore quickly on there, and he gets the ball knocked out of his hands, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay Towson ball.
Yeah, that looked like a pass down low, trying to get it into Sammy Givens, but way wide.
And Matt now quickly checking back into the game. It's going to be Dupree in for Gomes, and Polk checking back in. So on the court now for the Tigers, it is Brian Morris, Rashawn Polk, Trey Connor, Isaiah Fillmore, and Braxton Dupree. They get it to Fillmore off the inbounds pass. Back to the guard, Drake Connor trying to set up the offense. He's looking at it, pick from Dupree. Trying to create it, give it to Fillmore down in the baseline. A jumper put up from him inside the paint. The shot no good. Ball going to be back into the hands of Dupree.
And it's interesting that Dupree is in the ballgame, as he is clearly limping up and down the court, as we can see. With 4 fouls in the game, Towson, I guess, not taking much risk. They're letting the game is kind of slipping away from them now, down 8 points. They need him for defensive purposes to keep this lead at bay.
And Coach Pat Kennedy, obviously, as you're talking about, Matt, really not going to let anything go by and let this game get further out of the hand, as he already is down by 8, 13 minutes left to go. Quickly, a little one-handed floater put up there by Coles for Drexel. That one falls in, and now score 45-35, the largest lead of the day for the Dragons, 45-35. Coach Pat Kennedy not pleased with the officials, screaming at mid-court right now. Wanted a foul call. A timeout call by